Area.
Oh God. Sending porn to another student in 5th grade.
How would they even know? The parent complained, the parent found it?
God. You know...
What kind of country is this where a 5th grader can send porn to another
I know.
5th grader? Like, is this kind of some fascist state?
Seriously.
Like, how on earth are kids supposed to learn these things? Like, kids share with kids, children helping children.
Can you believe it's like a federal offense
Ebony
to share
and
porn
Ivory.
with other kids? Yeah, me and this other girl, she was like, had a reputation for being a troublemaker. And I was like, you know, one of the star kids there, did really well at everything. Yeah. And so everyone blamed her and said it was her influence. And she still probably hates me for it, because I let her take the fall. But we found porn at, like, her in her dad's bathroom. I don't even remember how, but we sent it to this boy that we, like, had a crush on.
You emailed it or you snapped it?
There was no email. We were 10.
Oh, okay.
And we put it in an envelope, a manila envelope, but the only manila envelope we could find had been sent to her house and was from a .Ariel. So we just crossed off a .Ariel with a marker and then mailed it anonymously to this boy.
And how did they find out?
Well, his mom found... was like, who is sending my son porn?
How did she know? She opens her son's mail?
So the kid must have told, who knows? But she called the school and said there's an envelope where, you know, your school's name is on this envelope. Someone clearly did this. And they must have called in the kids one by one. And she, the troublemaker girl, I guess, told them it was me. And of course I went in and they were like, she corrupted you. She was the Riedlinger, right? And I was like, yes. Yes, she was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, the vice president at the time was the one... She was a weird, twisted woman. Like, it was really weird the way they handled it. And my mom came in, and of course I'm like 10 and just want to die. My mom's and the vice president shows the pictures to my mom. Yeah, I'm glad this is so funny for you. It's like one of the most traumatic memories I have.
You see what they're doing here? You remember if it was lesbian or heterosexual porn that you shared, or it was just a woman? I
don't even want to go into it. I'll say it was a lot worse than your average Playboy. And they showed it to my mom, and my mom was like, okay, you know, this is bad, we're going to deal with this. And the vice principal kept saying, no, I don't think you've really seen how bad. Did you see this one? Did you see this one? And my mom was like, yes, you know, we'll deal with this at home. We're taking this very seriously. She's going to be disciplined. And the vice principal keeps going like, no, I don't think you really know. Did you see this one? And what, you know, my mom years later was like, that was very odd, you know. Like, you know, you were in trouble, but the way that was handled...
But did you see this one?
Yeah, exactly. And the really sick, sad ending, crazy ending for this story is that this happened at a .Ariel with this woman whose name I won't mention, but I clearly remember. My sister ended up going to Heschel Day School, another conservative Jewish day school. Like, you know, there are only 2 in the Valley, and she had been at a .Ariel and she switched to Heschel. And when she was in the exact same grade, 5th grade, she wrote something in a kid's yearbook that was considered pornographic. The funny thing is, the principal at that time was the old vice principal that had gotten me in trouble. So the same woman called my mom in to get my younger sister, in trouble for porn in the yearbook. So that was the epilogue to that story. Yeah.
Trouble.
Yeah. Oh,
what was your reputation in high school?
Probably nerdy.
Yeah.
Probably weird. You know, I was interested in all the things smart kids were. I did theater. I was just interested in like student council and.
You're interested in student council. That is weird.
You know, interning for a congressman and my extracurriculars and going to a good college, and I just went to my 10-year high school reunion actually, and it was so less meaningful than I thought it would be. I thought it would really mean something and be impactful, and it really wasn't.
And did you intern for Bill Clinton?
I met Bill Clinton, but no, I didn't intern. I interned for Congressman Brad Sherman, still a local congressman around here.
He finally got married, didn't he? Like in the last year or
two? Yeah. I have no comment. Yeah.
I mean, but you're pretty safe there.
Yes, I felt very safe there. I did.
Would you like to have interned for the president, President Clinton?
It depends why you're asking that. For the salacious reasons, no. God, at the time I thought President Clinton was too centrist. Who knew what would happen later on? But.
So you're to the left of Clinton.
I mean, some people would say that about me. I think I'm open-minded. A lot of other people would say that.
But if you were saying that Clinton was too centrist...
I'm saying when I was 17 and 18, and I met him. I only met him once, and that's where I was, where my mind was at that time.
Did you get the vibe that this was a creep?
No, not at all. You know, he's so...
Even when he gave you his phone number and said, call me?
He said my name wrong, actually, and I corrected him.
Did he say Tamara?
Yes, he did. So you're in good company.
Me and Bill.
Yes, yeah. But he does something that, he's an amazing flirt. Not just sexually flirty, but with men and women, young and old. Yeah. He's, it's that, ineffable charisma that some people have that make you feel warm towards them. He was so good at that.
Yeah, it's a dangerous tool, but I try to use it carefully.
Well, I'm glad you understand. Yes, you know what I'm talking about.
I know how susceptible the youth can be.
It's true. You have to be careful with powers like that.
Bill Clinton, wow. So, what kind of relationship to Judaism were you raised with?
I was raised very conservative. I went to Hebrew school. Well, for my bat mitzvah, I did every parshat in the Torah, in the Torah portion. I led the whole service. I went to Hebrew school well after I went to public high school through the University of Judaism, to Hebrew High, where I got language credit for Hebrew. So I was raised, and in a temple that was, I think, as conservative as it can get, to the point of, to the point of not being Orthodox. Yeah. So right up to the line, I think. I went on a birthright trip a few years ago. So I was raised in a pretty traditional Jewish conservative family. My extended family is all Jewish, very serious about the holidays.
And how did you relate to Judaism? I mean, you did these things, but what were you thinking at the end?
Initially, when I was really young, I wanted to be Orthodox. I loved it. I loved the school I went to. I think it sounds completely different, I think, from my friends who, for instance, went to Catholic school when they were younger. I really loved it. Be open to, the encouragement of discussion. People weren't afraid, I thought, when, you were in a challenging intellectual environment and you brought that into religion. Yeah. I don't think I realized how unique that was to Judaism until later, and I really appreciate that. During college, I struggled a lot with atheism. Mm-hmm. I think I went through a number of years where I identified as an atheist. I